So yeah, so it has just gone live, but like nobody's actually here yet, and we'll probably be bored for the next few minutes. So I can see the people coming in, but it always starts at 0 and then goes up pretty quickly. There we go, 9 people in already. Hey guys, say hello in the comments. We're actually here, and if you're on Facebook, come over to the YouTube channel because it's much easier to talk on the chat over there. So yeah, come over to the YouTube channel. I think I put the link in Facebook for both, so it'll be streaming live on Facebook. But there's also
Oh,
the
it
link
just notified me. That's fun.
on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. On Facebook. Russell Barber's live now. Cool.
Right. So the problem is people will be watching it on there, and then when they comment, we can't actually see who you are. And a lot of people will
Yeah.
know, a lot of people aren't psychics, so we want them to be able to like ask questions as and know who they are, so we can, I don't know, tell them they suck or whatever we do. Tell them to go away if it's like Raj or Matt or somebody. So pretty good. Well, let's get started. So, guys that are starting to watch here, we're going to do a live tonight about basically options trading and basically giving Chaselin some platform to talk about his trades. People that are in psychic traders are already familiar with the channel that I've got pulled up. I can maximize it on the screen actually, so it kind of hides us here. So if you guys are in psychic traders, you've probably been following Chaselin's trades for a while now. I know a lot of people are. A lot of people have had some success with it. A lot of people are asking questions. So I thought it'd be a perfect time to like sit down, talk to the man himself, and really kind of get to know who
The
you are.
man, the myth,
Yeah,
the legend.
yeah, the legend. Yeah. So
Rush,
unfortunately,
try hitting the people on the top right of your Discord next to search to hide the member list. I think it might make it bigger. You see how it's
uh,
like hashtag and then alerts and then pins.
I don't know how to work Discord. So which one
Oh,
do I
you see
hit?
those two heads? It's like half human bodies. Yeah, click that.
Right, hide
It might
member.
make it bigger. Oh no,
Uh,
never mind. Go ahead.
plus they're they will remain anonymous, so they'll not be. It's a criminal operation. Oops, I'm gonna like say criminal.
Dun
Probably.
dun dun.
If this was Facebook, oh, it is on Facebook. I'd probably be banned now.
Yeah, you're gonna
But
get
this is on
put in
Facebook.
jail.
Anyway, we have me obviously, and then we have somebody called Donkey. I don't know who that is, but founder of Sidekick Trader, super professional.
Hee haw.
So say hello, Miss Donkey.
Hello.
That's good. Yeah, that works well. So, guys, in the comments, feel free to ask any questions as we go along and say hi because we want to know who's here. We want to say hello to you guys too. So we're watching the comments on YouTube, but like I said on Facebook, we're not going to be able to talk back unless acknowledge who you are because it just comes up as some like anonymous Facebook user. So say hello in the comments. I don't see any yet. You guys are just watching quietly. So let me introduce Chase. So Chase, I
Hey
don't know
guys.
yeah, I don't know much about you. Honestly, I've been so checked out. I probably should say that, but I've been so checked out for so long with sidekicks that I need to start following your channel more because I keep seeing people making money following your trades. So I was hoping tonight we could get started with a bit of an introduction so I can get to know you if nothing else,
For
and have
sure.
some of the members get to know you as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you all for having me as well. Happy to be here. And I started, a little background about me and trading. I started when I was around 18 years old, about 5 years ago. And, like any 18-year-old starting out, you really think it's going to be a get rich quick scheme a lot of times, or that it's going to be a lot easier than it turns out actually being.
Yeah.
So, it was a learning curve, but one of the most important things that I learned was to not give up. Uh, I remember one of the worst times I had was on a Friday, and this shows you really the inexperience you have a lot of times starting out as well. It was a Friday, and I had a smaller account. It was $3,000-$4,000, and I was trading Friday lottos. This off of Robinhood charts. Horrible risk management. Just really gambling. You might as well probably had better chances at a casino.
Yeah.
And basically blew my whole account that day. About 3,000 loss out of.
You started right into options?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I did stocks for, a month or two, but options, of course, were the more risk, more reward. So that had
Yeah.
the more of a pull
Like
to me.
yeah.
And, like I said, after that Friday, you learned a lot of, well, options are, they have a lot of benefits and a lot of uh, advantages over stocks, but you also have to be very careful with them. And uh, it takes time. And that's would be one big piece of advice I would give to beginners starting out is don't go into it thinking, well, this is going to replace my day job within a month, because it's not. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
But what it can do is it can be a long-term life-changing path, in my opinion, because I know for me, it's greatly changed a lot of my life over the past couple years, just
Do
because
you
of
trade full time now?
I trade. It is my full-time job. I do have a side job I help my family with that I've been doing forever. But
Okay.
as far as anything else, trading is my main focus.
Awesome.
So, starting out, if you're uncomfortable with options, I would recommend maybe looking more into long-term stocks, because I have long-term investing is something that I have seen how important it is as I've advanced as a trader and grown as a trader. I think options are great to be into, but I think really anyone in the stock market should have at least a little account for long-term investing, that you just put the money in there, have a good bag of stocks that you think have long-term potential, and don't look at it. Just let it
Set it
sit
and
there.
forget it.
Yeah. And that way, you have your income coming from the options trading or whatever you prefer. Maybe you're more into crypto, whatever. But that long-term account's there for your long-term income that, you're not relying on to have weekly or monthly, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I know, a lot of members on here probably, possibly even in the red right now. Overall, the market's really volatile right now.
It's a lot of our first times. I know for me, and Russell said as well. And if you've only been trading for 5 years, it's our first bear market.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
The drop that happened in 2020, it was quick, and there was a lot of opportunities to be made there. And this drop, we're seeing it happen a little slower. It seems like to me that it's not as uh,
Yeah.
fast.
It seems slow and steady, which is definitely, to me, feels like it's the start of a proper downturn, like proper.
Yeah.
I think I showed that chart before at one point where all the previous pullbacks, it's been like dipped down and then
Well, it
straight
jumped
back.
right back on trend. We're
Right.
so far from trend.
Right.
Like we could rally for days, and I don't know how we can get back up there that quickly. This is definitely worse and longer and deeper than COVID.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. As y'all have seen, I've been playing a lot of puts, and I did
Yeah.
not see this week's pump incoming. It was a little bit of a shock. I didn't really understand it myself, but the market doesn't always make complete sense.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of the fears of a recession have been priced in, of course. Like I said, we're quite a bit down right now.
Yeah.
But is an actual recession priced in? In my opinion, I don't think so. I think if we do go into a recession where it's throughout the states, yeah, we could definitely go farther down. Possibly, I could see it going down another 10 to 15%.
Yeah, that's my guess as well, just from the average bear market and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that. That's what I think is probably going to happen with these rip your face off rallies that ruin all your picks. and then they go back down. So, have you had to change your strategy? So you've been trading options for like 5 years now, you were saying?
Yes.
Yeah. And how much has your strategy changed this last like 6 months to a year?
You know, I'm always trying to grow as a trader. I think a trader who thinks that they know everything and have nothing more to learn is a trader that probably is going to have some problems down the road, whether it be, getting a little bit too haughty. A lot of times you can think that you have maybe, you could say the market by the, well, I don't know if I'll say that.
By the balls.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's very important to always build your skills as a trader. So for me, trying out different strategies, because there's strategies, each trader is going to have a little bit different of a strategy. I've never really seen two traders who have the exact same trading strategy. Some like to day trade, some like to swing, some like to trim at X amount of profit, some like to trim at that amount of profit. It's all different, and I think you do have to adapt to market conditions as well, as Russell said. So these last 6 months, previously we would buy stocks or options off of support, and when you're more in a bear market like right now, you're buying them more at resistance. Not a huge change in your game plan, your trading game plan there, but it does, it changes a little bit.
I just put Michelle up. I'm watching. I know she loves when I do that.
It
You
keeps
see that?
distracting me.
I won't do that to you every time, Michelle. Don't worry. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your strategy. So I think you post all these awesome alerts. Some of them I have up. I think I have your track record up for this last week, and it's pretty awesome. And some of them are swings, and some of them are day trades. But I've never sat down to figure out like how's this guy trading? Like what's the deal?
For sure. So last week was really solid because I called out several short plays when the market was at that peak around 415 on SPY a couple weeks ago before we had that drop. So we profited very nicely on those last week, closing those out. As far as my strategy, so learning my strategy, I'll talk a little bit about it here, but also to members who want to know more about my trades, look at my charts that I post, because you'll learn a great amount from those and why I'm taking the trade. And that's why I want to post them, not just to if you want to pull up that last chart, Russell, the one on Boeing, that would be great.
Is it the bottom one here?
Yes, sir. So we see here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, can you see it clearly? I've clicked on it, so it should be.
Yeah.
We can. It's showing up very well. So these lines that we see here, the purple, light blue, and the peach colored one, those are moving averages. And I use a lot of moving averages in my trading because stocks usually really respect moving averages when they're moving. So as we see here, we see that Boeing bounced several times off of that resistance on that bottom moving average. I believe that was the 50-day moving average.
Yeah.
And that's why I took that trade there around the 138 mark today, because we see that it came up right to that moving average around the 138, 139. And then we did have a rejection off of it. Now, of course, the market has to cooperate with us also. And this last week, that's why a few did hit our stops, because the market pumped and it gapped up overnight. And there's not a lot you can do there. especially with overnight swings. So to members who are maybe not wanting to swing or not wanting to take on the risk, maybe they have a smaller account, I would recommend, if you see profits, especially in this market volatility that we're experiencing right now, don't wait for me to alert a trim. If you're happy with a profit, go ahead and lock it in.
You
When
seem to exit in like fourths, right?
I do. Usually my first trim, I'll do a half, but after that, it's usually a fourth. Correct.
Okay.
So,
So
and I-
And are you aiming for swinging and you'll take profits if it hits that day?
correct.
Or are you you're usually aiming for swings?
Yes, usually
Okay.
I am a swing trader, but I hate to leave members in a play when it's up 20% the same day, especially if they don't have to stay in it. Go ahead and lock it in.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I
one of,
noticed your alerts. I didn't know it always says swing. So I wasn't sure if you were always aiming to swing them and then
Yeah.
taking profits if you see it or
correct. That's how I play
Okay.
them. Is usually, it's going to be a swing, but go ahead and lock in the profits if you're happy with them. I know one saying that I heard that has always stuck with me is, if you see profits and it's good enough to screenshot, or you would be sad if they went away, go ahead and lock them in.
yeah.
It's not worth going for the big win, because there's plenty of other times to just get consistent gains that in time add up way more than that one big win here and there do.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'm sad every single game that goes away, so I'd be locking in profits at 1%. No, don't leave me. Which moving average is that pink or peach line there? I'm trying to follow back on your chart. Is it marked as like which moving average, like 50-day?
The bottom one, because I see the bottom one is peach and the top one is pink.
Yeah, so the peach one, though, what is the number on it though? Like, is that 50 or what is that
I'm
moving average?
pretty sure that's 50,
Yeah.
but I might
So-
be looking at it wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's 50.
So you use that as about, obviously you can see it rejected off there a few times previously. Do you have any other entry requirements on top of that, or is it literally just a rejection from that on a particular ticker? Or?
Yeah, so I of course watch the trend of the market as well. The stocks can have a great setup, but if the market is going against the direction that you're playing, it's going to take a lot of momentum out of that play. So I'll usually watch futures, watch SPY, and make sure that there's no, if you're taking puts on a play and then here SPY is coming down to VWAP and fixing to bounce, that might not be the best entry.
I think that makes all the difference. The people that are making money are doing that, and the people that are losing money are sticking with their old strategies of always going long, always going short, and not taking into account the trend, right? Which is so basic, but it's so many people are not doing it and then getting burned. Like they're still swing trading penny stocks or whatever. I guess.
Do you
point.
also, Chase, pay attention to the Fed meetings and CPI and PPI? And
I
are
do.
you aware of that before it happens to know that that potentially can change the market trend?
I do watch them, especially if there's a trade out. I'll pay even more close attention. Usually, I try to, just it's put a really bad taste in my mouth, the market manipulation, the last few meetings where rates will be raised and the market will pump, and usually it's just best to sit on the sidelines during those times, because it's really a crapshoot of what's going to happen. Especially here lately, it just seems like there's no rhyme or reason behind how the market reacts. I remember I was just going to say, I remember it wasn't this last meeting, but the one before that, I believe it was in May. And, rates were raised and the market pumped. And then the next day it completely dumped. And we just saw institutions unloading a lot of positions. And that's, this a great example in itself of, don't always feel like you have to take advantage of crazy momentum in the market and crazy momentum shifts. Cash
Yeah.
is a huge position for beginners especially.
Okay, cool. So I had that chart up. We'll bring it up one more time. So there's a couple of questions coming in. I think we covered your entry, right? It's basically we have a good idea for how you're entering. It's pretty obvious from here what your price target is. Just that next level of support right down here, which is awesome. Michelle's asking though, how are you position sizing? So are you doing the same number of contracts for each play?
Or
Great
using
question.
about the same money per play.
Yeah. the same
Great
amount.
question. So I usually use about 5% of my account.
Okay.
I don't, I really believe in small, consistent gains add up over time. We don't need to get those big, wins where you're using 30% of your account.
Having a heart attack as it goes either way.
Yes, chances are if a position's hurting you or you're worried about it too much, then it's too heavy for your account. And
Do you see this next question? For the stuff that's a little bit more expensive, could you recommend a spread?
so I don't want to talk too much about spreads because I'm not as experienced there. I haven't played a lot of spreads myself. If it's out of your account risk settings that you would do, I would really recommend skipping the play because
That's
I get
fair.
out, one or two plays a day. If you miss one, it's not gonna, hurt you. I'd rather
I feel like you have a
skip that
healthy
out.
mix too of I don't see you having the higher price ones like so often where it would negate people from being able to play because it happens so much.
For sure. And
Yeah.
like, today we got out that fuel cell and it was $120 per contract.
Yeah.
That's a great cheap play for a small account. And then
Yeah.
for the larger accounts, the BA play, that was a little bit
How
more
much
expensive. It
was
was
that one?
$670 there.
Okay.
And then yesterday I believe was a little bit more expensive play with Tesla.
Tesla's fun, but I mean, we all know it's always expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also why I post my stop losses, because that way you can know going into a trade, okay, well, if I follow Chase's risk parameters here in this Tesla trade, if I get in at 32 and his stop is at 20, I have to be prepared to lose really 1.2K on that
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah.
And if that's too much, then you already know and you say, okay, well, I'm going to get the next one. And there's plenty of those. And even so, if you have the watch list as well to make your own plays that I post each morning also.
Yeah, Russell, I don't know if you had noticed that, but his watch list is like more of an independent.
Should
like-
we find one?
Yeah, right there. The one
This
on the
guy?
spreadsheet. Yeah, so
Oh.
every morning, usually right before the open. I think probably 8:30 my time, Eastern is probably the earliest I've seen it, but it's usually always right before 9:30, anywhere from 8:30 to 9:30. He gives levels for always those same 9?
Yeah.
2,
So I usually try to get this out,
So 8.
before market open. That way everybody
Yeah.
has a chance to get a look over it. But sometimes it is out 10, 15 minutes late. But it is very reliable. I get almost just as many compliments on the watch list as I do my own alerts. So
That's cool.
don't be sleeping on the watch list, especially if you're not wanting to just follow signals but want to learn about movements of stocks.
It
And
would be fun, Chase, if I set up trading view in the morning because like in the fall when the kids are in school, I'll have more time.
yeah,
If I put the triggers, I could set the triggers up from your watch list on TradingView and have it auto post
we
to
can
us.
definitely do that.
It'll tell us Tesla is under 717 or
Yeah.
Tesla, I'm sorry, over. That would be fun, right?
Oh,
It
that
would
would
be like
be
an extra step of help. Like it's hitting the triggers that he is giving us to take these plays.
yeah. I think that would be very helpful.
And
And
where do you get your levels from here? So calls over 717, short under 7. Like just a quick explanation of where those levels are coming from.
it's really just levels of support and resistance on
Okay.
shorter time frames. So this would be day trades,
And
and
read the bottom, like do not buy in a 1 minute candle. Open up or
Yes.
go to 5 to 10 minute candles.
Right.
I
and
would assume you want the candle to close probably. You want a 5 minute candle to close above 717.50 to
correct,
then go for calls.
correct.
I
So
think we could do that together. We could work on it, getting it to trigger us.
yeah,
Because it's hard to pay attention to everything. If it was a channel that was like, Chaselin, Tesla, whatever, you know what I mean? But go ahead.
for
Sorry.
sure. Yeah, no, that would be a great idea. I think that would be very helpful because it would be just another alert. Because I don't. The point of this is, as far as the watch list goes, I don't have time to watch each one myself with my own trades that I'm doing and trying to get out alerts. It's really something that members can learn from and kind of look at the levels themselves and see, okay, what did he see at
And not have to
717.50?
copy you where you feel that rush to, oh my God, he put out a trade. I have to find it quick and look at it quick and find the date and this and that. You can
Exactly.
have that information in the morning and then you could trigger it and you could act upon it on your own.
Yeah. So definitely, if you're wanting to improve as a trader, check out the watch list. You'll learn a lot from it, even if you're just pulling it up and watching how it reacts when it hits those levels and not taking the trades. You can learn a lot.
Very
When
cool.
you're using the watch list, Michelle asked, are you doing in the money contracts or are you paying more attention to the volume and open interest?
Usually, I'll just stick to one strike out of the money.
So puts one below, calls one above.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool. And your track record looks really good. So this is this last week, right? 20th of June.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
I said last week was really solid.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, look at these things: 21%, 104% on one of your runners. I like your transparency as well. How you're saying like sold a quarter for 67, sold a quarter for, because a lot of people will just put like their biggest runner or something and try and claim that was their,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving the transparency.
Yeah, I'm all about transparency. I'm not trying to hide anything, and yeah, I'm not one of like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, someone was asking today if or why you don't alert when you're exiting, and then Michelle and I were saying, well, because his stop loss is right there. He tells you when he puts out the idea, and then you tell us when you're exiting in profit because you're scaling out. And then at the end of the week, you're going to show, oh, Tesla was a 40% loss or, whatever.
Yeah, correct.
Which
And
I think works.
Sorry, on you go.
I was just going to say, I think it really is better for members because they don't want to just follow exactly what I'm doing. They need to know what my plan is and then make their own plan based off of that. Meaning, okay, they see where my entry and my exit is, and then they can play it like they would want. They can enter at the exact same price as me and set the exact same stop. I'm not an analyst that's going to let it hit stop or average down, and then
Good
you're already
point. I've
stopped
actually
out.
never seen you average down.
That is one thing I never do. Maybe once in a blue moon, but usually you're already going, people have smaller accounts are already going in with that initial 5% of their account or whatever they're comfortable with. So then to average down again, what percentage of members are actually going to be able to safely take the average down?
Yeah, and you're going to have a different outcome than them.
Yeah, exactly. So for me myself, that's why I don't do average downs, and that's why I post my stops as well. That way, you don't have to be messaging me. It's something that when I'm going to exit. If it hits my stop, I'm not going to stay in. You don't have to be wondering, hey, is he still in? If it hasn't hit my stop, I'm still in. If it has, then I'm out. And then as far as in profits, scaling out, I will post those.
Very cool. So I have the previous week's thing up at the moment as well. So this was the 10th of June. So this was your summary on Friday that week, which is awesome. So hopefully people can see these numbers. I mean, the green on the left is a good indication. But a lot of these are pretty nice numbers, like 40%, sold a quarter for 108%. So you actually put the average in here, right? So 1633 and 108. Gave you a 39% average on that trade. That's cool. Yeah, very, very awesome. So that was another good week, and that was a bad week in the market. So I'm quite impressed with you.
And I think, like, I'll be honest, I've had weeks where it's not that good. Every trader has those weeks. A lot of some traders might put out there that they were profitable when they really weren't, just because of the format of their alerts, whether it be average downs or whatever. So that's why, this week we had a total return of 3%. If you took the greatest and added those up, it would be a way more profitable week there than 3%. But for transparency and actually how you would scale out of the trades as a trader, then you're actually getting the total return at 3% there.
Nice.
I see Douglas is saying, where can I learn more about your service? Something about it's bringing me to Rockwell Trading. And then Corey said, I follow him exactly because it's so easy. Does he recommend that?
Yes, there is nothing wrong with recommending me. I just don't want to come off as a hand holder as well. I want all traders, whether they're following me exactly or just following my watch list, to always grow as a trader and learn, because that's what we're all here to do, is learn. But following my trades exactly is great. More than
a good amount of people in our server definitely do that. They like how because you put the information there, they are adding the stop loss, and they are setting it and forgetting it. If it, they see it go in profit and they take it and scale out or do whatever on the profit side, but they're putting in the stop loss right away, so they're not like stalking it. And Russell, do you know what Douglas is talking about? Rockwell Trading?
No, I don't know. So I'm just telling him it. I think there might be a pop-up ad or something that comes up. Just close that, and it should just be psychictraders.com. That's weird, though. That's really weird. You can get to Psychic Traders, right, guys?
I'll check it right now. Yeah, looking good for me.
Yeah, it must be something in the code. So I was messing around with stuff with pop-ups and things, so I don't know why it's popping that up. Is it because you're on your cell phone, Douglas? If you are, just close the pop-up if there is one. I'll look into it and see, make sure it's disabled. I was messing around with a lot of these things. So yeah, that's weird though. That'd be weird having sidekicks rerouted to Rockwell Trading, right? No.
Gotta love that free advertising.
Imagine the surprise too.
And they're like, wait, that's $3,000, and I thought we were getting Chaselin, and we're getting some crazy German guy instead of doing that, and he just wheels stuff. And so yeah, let me know, Douglas, if you're in the Facebook group or if you want to email me. I think I'll put my email into here as well. Make sure you get access. So let me just get stock alerts reviewed at protonmail.com. So yeah, so anybody can email me there if you're having problems with the website or if you want to know more information about what else. Because Chaselin's awesome, but he's one of like probably 10 different alerts systems or people or services that we have in Sidekick Traders at the moment. But Chaselin's doing really well in this market, so we thought we'd sit down with him.
I like how he is still successfully swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's been hard to swing stuff.
It has, and this week was a little tougher than the past few, for me at least, just with, we're talking about that jump in the market. We had a really good jump this week.
Yeah.
3% on the S&P. So that's a big, really our first weekly advance since the second best weekly advance of 2022.
Very cool.
So good week there. Did we want to talk about the auto trade?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it. I'm sorry. I'm just getting distracted. I'm trying to find out what's wrong with
Oh,
Sidekick Traders.
no,
So
I know for sure.
I think so. Go back and check Sidekick Traders. Douglas. Like there was a weird pop-up ad, so I got rid of it. I think I found it. So you should be able to access the site just fine now. So go and check
Michelle
that.
said, yeah, no crap. Nice job with the swings. I can't swing worth a hoot lately. Me either.
Any other questions about the trading strategy here? I think Chaselins done a really good job explaining like what it is. It's fairly straightforward. I like how simple it is. Nothing fancy. It's
Moving
just
averages, the trend is
Yeah.
your friend.
good old
Don't
basic.
don't overcomplicate it. And I will
Yeah.
say one thing, I'm always open to any questions from members. If any member needs help or has a question, or I don't even mind if you ask if I am still in a trade. The only thing I ask is direct message me if you can, as I always see those quicker. A lot of times a message will get posted in chat and I won't immediately see it. So
And he's in our server, so don't message his bot where it says Chaselin's option bot. You could search, for just Chaselin, and you can message him.
correct. Yeah. And that would help me out a lot. You'll get a way quicker response like that.
Very cool. Is there any other members from Sidekick that are in here or watching that want to ask any more specific questions about things you mean, like, anything at all? Because we're going to move on to the next part, which is talking about potential auto trading and what Chase has been doing with that. So I just want to make sure that you guys are getting your questions answered, because you can always ask again in the room itself, but it's a good time to ask Chase directly while we've got him pinned down.
For sure.
Pinned down.
Marion
We
has him
got
pinned down.
you.
Well, hey, no questions is good. That means we're explaining well.
Yeah, it does. And the cool thing is there isn't anything crazy or complicated, and it's very clear that you're being open, transparent, and honest about your positions. And I think it's a fairly easy strategy to understand. But the way you're managing them is better than most people do, I think.
And
the
you
way
guys also know my feelings on sharing a chart. To
Right.
me, it's everything. I want to literally see what you see. And I would say, I don't know, rough guesstimate, maybe 75, if not more, % of people that share ideas don't share charts. And I'm just looking at entry, stop loss, this, that. And I don't know. I very much appreciate the visual. It puts the whole picture together for me.
I agree. I agree completely.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Corey, he said just pretty much if it's out of your price range, that he would just recommend skipping it because he's not very versed in spreads.
So Corey's asking how have you done over the past years compared to this year? Like, how has your track record been since you started? Obviously, there'd be a learning curve, and then can you give us kind of an idea of your overall track record? Like, you haven't just suddenly made money in the last 2 months in a down market, right? That'd be pretty good. Yes, I'm perfect at bad markets. That's the only thing I can do. So,
well, if we're talking about, once again, going back to the whole trading career, when you first start out, I was unprofitable. But recently, I usually average 10 to 20% on my account a month total.
That's awesome.
So that's usually my goal of at least 10. And then, if you can get closer to 20, amazing, but 10% on an account, if you're getting that each month, that's very consistent growth.
Very cool. Yeah, it's about what I think most traders that I know that are honest, actual traders that aren't making crap up, 10%, 20% seems to be like good traders. That's what they're kind of hitting.
Yeah.
I'm always skeptical if people are saying more than that, but they do. But
I've only got more than that on a small account because that's easy to make bigger percents.
right,
The bigger it
right,
gets, you're like, oh shit.
right. Very good.
That
Yeah.
So,
$20 suddenly isn't 50% anymore. Now it's 2%.
Yeah. It is quite funny, the psychology behind, a small account versus a larger account.
Yeah.
It does get harder.
I think, Douglas, we would all answer the same. He said, can you recommend a way around the day trading rule? And that's really, you just need to use a cash account.
Yeah.
Either you
And
have over 25K or use cash account, and options settle the next day. So that helps.
yeah.
right.
I'll add to that even a little bit more. I found a broker. I'm sure they're
Like
pretty
offshore?
popular. No, it's actually Tastyworks, and they still have the same rule, but
Mhm.
as with other brokers, I believe if you get that what's it called when you do over your account
A
value?
good faith,
Yeah.
the margin, you mean, or the good
Yeah,
faith violation?
good faith. If you
Uh-huh.
get past so many of those, they lock down your account. But with Tastyworks, they would lock down that account, but it was super easy to open up another account under the same name and everything it took.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of a cheap way around it, but
Instead of opening different accounts on multiple brokers to have more day trades, you can open another account on Tasty.
yeah, and you still have the
That's
same
cool.
login info. It is
Oh, I
cool.
didn't know that. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Sorry, just
All right, so
answering
why
the
don't we not wrap up, go over the auto trader quick? Because I know we've
For
been
sure.
on for a little bit already.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
I was curious to hear about that. So I was telling you the story earlier about Al Ghali and that
Yeah.
experience for me. But it got me really excited about the idea of having people that are really, really good traders auto trading because, you can imagine a lot of people complain they don't have time to watch their stuff all day or like they can't get in when one of these guys alert and gets in and stuff. So I found auto trading with like some sort of API with Thinkorswim or whatever seems to be like super exciting for a lot of people. So you mentioned you're doing something similar, so it'd be really cool to hear what you're doing and that kind of what's going on there.
For sure. Yeah. So, I'm sure a lot of members have become more busy, especially since things have been opening up since COVID has been dying down and all that jazz over the past year or so. And, I know what I saw was a lot of people not having time to trade. And that's sad because, it's such a big opportunity for passive income, and just to be involved in the stock market, I think, is important because it does grow wealth long term. So we started building an auto trader. I partnered with some developers that already had one. And what it does, it works with Thinkorswim, and you're able to connect to it connects to your broker, and then you choose which analyst you would want to follow. So maybe you wanted to follow me, maybe you wanted to follow Ms. Yada yada yada. You would just set it up, and when they make a trade, you get executed that same trade. Now, what is even better about it is that if I pick up 5 contracts of, let's say, Boeing, that doesn't mean you're going to get 5 contracts as well with a smaller account. You are able to set your own risk parameters when you create your account and sign up. So you're able to set, well, I don't want more than $300 getting put in each trade. Then you set that, and if I make a trade or whoever you're following makes a trade, you're not going to get put in more than $300. And you also are able to set how many trades you want to take per day. And it's going to be something that A big question is, how much do you need to have in your account? And how much money do you need to have for this? And it really, a lot will depend on how much the analyst is charging. Uh, what I mean by that is, let's say I'm charging around $150 a month for you to take my trades automatically. Well, you at least want to make back your subscription. So
Mhm.
if you have safely 10% gain on the account a month, then a 1.5K account is going to put you at break even. So that kind of gives you an idea of to break even, you'll need probably at least a $2,000 account, I would recommend.
Mhm.
And then, anything extra you put in there is how much you're going to make out of it.
Gotcha. What broker is it? TOS?
It's Thinkorswim.
Okay.
So it's something that you just set it, and you don't have to be watching constantly on your phone, or if you're at your workplace or whatever the case may be, you can just
I've never used an auto trader. Is there such thing as not getting filled?
I'm not.
if the only case where it wouldn't is, let's say I bought it at 5, and then within somehow 5 seconds it jumps to 6. You're not going to get filled at 6. It would wait to fill you at the same fill I get.
So is it a couple seconds from when you fill or put the order in?
It's less than 2 seconds.
Okay, cool.
It's very quick.
The way it
And
worked
can
with me,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with the only one I've had experience with, it was all market ordering on SPY. Like that was the only thing.
Market.
So marketing on super liquid contracts like that, and you didn't have a choice; you had to market, and it was fine because obviously, like 1
Because they were
cent.
super liquid, so it was a tight
Yeah.
spread.
So that
So
was how
these are
they're.
limits.
Yeah. So Chase, is yours a bit different, or?
It is, yeah. It would be the same fill that we get. So it's basically going to put the same order in for you as me with your own risk parameters, if that makes sense.
Could I
And
choose, I want to limit copy Chase with a margin of plus or minus 2 cents, or no?
I'll talk to the devs.
Do you know how? Because I've done that for like trailing out and stuff. Like you could choose the follow margin, whatever you want to call it.
That might be one thing. I don't quote me.
Okay.
Because I believe if I was to put in a market order, then it would also put you on a market order as well.
And if you limit, it would just limit to the same price.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, correct.
Very interesting. I've never used an auto trader.
Yeah, it's interesting that Raj brought up Collective 2, is because they were an older auto trading platform, but the thing about Collective 2, and it sounds like Raj learned this, is they even allowed their traders to make the trades off of a paper account. And I know for me personally, if I'm following an analyst trades, then I want that analyst to take the trades as well. And
You could be following a paper trader and not knowing.
exactly.
Sneaky.
Yeah. So that was one bad thing about Collective 2. And I don't know a lot about their software, but I do know that you were able to use the paper trading as an analyst. So that's one thing. Raj talked about a track record. I 100% agree. Before you follow me or any analyst, make sure either to wait a month and let them post their trading log or the results. If you're following them, right at release, then make sure you're getting, if they're comfortable with it, statements from their brokerage. Just because me personally, it's a big decision, and you don't want to jump the gun. It's something that you want to know who you're
So
following. And
since you said people can be tricky paper trading and you not knowing and following, can you do the opposite? Can we paper trade, auto trade with you to see how it pans out? Or no?
well, let me explain that more. That was just with Collective 2.
I just thought of the idea because of you saying that. If I wanted to, could I paper trade a TOS account to copy you?
So unfortunately, no, because the API with a paper account is completely different.
Okay.
So what you could do is put in, a small amount of money, or just wait a month and wait to see the results.
Yeah, I mean, what I did with the Algoali thing is I just used the absolute bare minimum amount. So it was totally irrelevant if he lost, whatever. So,
Yeah,
because he was the same. You couldn't paper trade it, so you had to do a small amount. But
Interesting.
and that might be something. It's something that we want to hear advice and what members want to see implemented as well, because this is first release and it's only going to improve from here. We have a lot of new features that we want to implement. Just the main thing right now is making sure that it's reliable, safe, unhackable, works well, quick fill times, all that good stuff. And then from there, we'll add in the fancy stuff like more brokers and possibly, down the road, paper trading, being able to follow on a paper trade account. So lots of fun stuff in the future.
Yeah, so Donnie's asking, is it brand new? And it's fairly new to you, right? Like it sounds like. How much experience do you have with it working? That's this other part of his question. Like, have you traded your own? Like, how many people are following you? Like, what stage are you at? Kind of thing.
So the software that we partnered with has been around. They started making it back in 2020, and they completed the auto trading side of it on 2021, towards the end of 2021. So it took about a year. And then I partnered with them at that point. And then what we've been working on so far is the payment system, because they kind of work hand in hand for a smooth checkout flow and sign up process. So because of that, we haven't been able to roll it out live to members. But as far as testing, yeah, we've done a lot of testing and made sure that it's safe. And we've rolled it out to a small group of people.
And am I understanding correctly? Like, say, for example, I wanted to be someone who alerted and offer people to auto trade me.
Correct.
Is
Yeah.
that I thought you had said that a while back. That I thought that was my understanding.
Yeah.
So
And
like, if people wanted to, if Michelle wanted to do it, for example, or if I wanted to do it, we could also set it up, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what's unique is it doesn't have to be, just one analyst. It can be anyone inside Kick Traders.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Daniel's asking, what's the name of the software and what's the website? I don't quite think that's how it's working at the moment, right?
Yeah, since it's going to be more white label.
Right.
Right.
That's what I figured. So,
the name of it will be Mimic Trade.
Oh, very cool.
But we don't have, just because it's more something offered from Discord groups to members, it's not something that's advertised a lot.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I think the thing I did wrong with the Algoali stuff is I didn't demand a full track record. I just got his card, and there was a bunch of guys raving about how good he'd been recently, and he'd had like 2 or 3 really good months before the market went to crap. And basically, I never did my due diligence. I didn't check his year, like the last year of doing it. And he claims he was very profitable, and he seemed to be a good guy and stuff. But at the end of the day, like he immediately lost like most people's accounts really quickly.
Yeah. So. That's sad. It worked out like that. And he was doing options as well.
So only SPY, yeah. It was just SPY options, quick day trades, 10%, sometimes roughly. So it was like lose 10 or 20%, gain 10 or 20 or 30%. So it was pretty much just SPY is all he was doing. But I was impressed with how it was integrated. I felt like it was safe. It was nobody had access to my brokerage account or anything, so that was a big concern for a lot of people that are new to alt trading and stuff. So
for sure, yeah.
Raj is asking, how long did your track record go back, Chaselin? In the Discord or like in general, or so in the Discord?
Well, he's been trading for 5 years. Michelle and I, and Matt actually, have been following him for probably over 2 years. I think you were in. I think the Discord was Trade ID. There was a Discord I was in that Captain was in also. That
Yeah.
I've seen you guys around for a long, long time because you're in a bunch of Discords, right?
Yeah, we started back in 2020, so we've been around a few years on Discord, and previously trading a few years before that as well.
Is there any certain times of day you alert whenever stuff comes out, right?
Yeah, I don't really have one particular time. It's really just the day's events that are going on, you know.
Yeah, just his watch list is at the same ish time
Correct.
every day.
Yeah.
8:34. Yeah. So I'm looking at how many trades because that's another good question. Actually, you only do like a couple a day, right? Usually.
Yeah, you know, I don't
not
want members to overtrade either. It really only takes one trade a day to be very profitable.
Yep.
You don't need to overtrade. I mean, if
quality over quantity.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And you know, if you're already taking trades from another analyst as well, you know, don't overtrade. It's not something you have to do.
Amen.
Yeah.
I gotta jump off. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and thank you to all the members who joined and asked the questions. Y'all made it really enjoyable as well.
Yeah, thanks. That was awesome. So I'll post a couple links. I'll repost this video once it's uploaded onto my channel, and then people can just get in touch or join through the Psychic Traders website, which I promise has no spammy pop-ups on it anymore. There's the link, and then you guys just get in touch if you want to come into Psychic if you're not already in there, and then check out Chase's trades. It'd be pretty fun. So hopefully that was helpful. It certainly was interesting to me. I'm really intrigued by the auto trading stuff. So hopefully we can talk a bit more about that going forward as well.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.
You too. Thanks for doing this, guys.
Hey, y'all too. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
You too.